Hello and welcome to this week's episode of The Game Show. Today we're going to be talking about the franchise of Dune. Now, Dune has done it all. They've had novels, comic books, TV series, movies, and more. And they're only going to be conquering the world with more TV shows and more movies coming up. But who was the 2021 Dune director? Was it Denis Villeneuve, Denis Villeneuve, Denis Villeneuve? Who could it be? It's this guy right here, pictured with Timmy Chalamet. They are on planet Arrakis in a desert, and he actually picked Timothy Chalamet, handpicked him for the role of Paul. And I'm talking about fellow Canadian filmmaker, Denis Villeneuve. Yes, he's excellent. He did Arrival in 2016. He's done Blade Runner 2049 in 2017. Awesome director. Look forward to his next project. Now, talking about Paul, Timothy Chalamet is part of which house in the movie? Is it Atreides, Atreyu, or Atrak? Now, the house is also his last name. There is this house, and then there is House Harkonnen, which is the kind of evil or antagonist in the movie. But who are we talking about? We're talking about Paul Atreides. Yes, he loved doing this role. He felt that in the stage of the career he was in, being the next leading man in Hollywood, he had to step into a big role and had to fill those shoes. But I think he did a great job as Paul Atreides. Now, what is the most valuable substance in the Empire on planet Arrakis? You can find it in the desert on planet Arrakis. Is it spice, sap, or Splenda? It's pictured there above. It will elevate your consciousness. It can give you precognition. It's an amazing, special, most valuable substance in the Empire. I'm talking about the spice, or specifically the spice melange. Excellent stuff. It is what enabled Paul to, become the man he was and become the savior for everyone. Now, who did the soundtrack for Dune Part 1 and 2? Was it Hans Zimmer, John Williams, or Sandy Wormington? Now, who could that be? It's this guy right here. Basically, if you've seen movies, I guarantee you've heard this guy's soundtracks in your movies. He's also done Inception. He had to turn down the opportunity to work with Christopher Nolan on the Tenet soundtrack because he got the opportunity to do Dune, and do Dune he did. And that was Hans Zimmer. Hans Zimmer, we're talking about. John Williams, another famous composer, Star Wars soundtrack. Sandy Wormington, a callback to the worm on planet Arrakis. Now, which musician played Feyd-Rautha Harkonnen in the 1984 Dune? Was it Steve Perry, Phil Collins, or Sting? This is a great example of jumping from one profession into another. I think he did a great job in this role. He, played it with grace, and he played the character very well. I even found it a little funny. And this guy, he causes the stingers. I'm talking about Sting, Gordon Sumner. Gordon Sumner's Sting. Not Phil Collins, it wasn't in the air. And not Steve Perry, it wasn't on that journey. Now, speaking of jumping from one profession to another, which wrestler played Beast Rabban Harkonnen? Was it John Cena, Dave Bautista, or The Rock? Let's look at these guys. They're all wrestlers. They had varied success in careers. John Cena did a great job as Peacemaker. He's hilarious. He really found his own in Peacemaker. I loved him in that, and he's done great movies. Him and The Rock have teamed up in the Fast and Furious franchise. The Hobbs brothers. They're doing great things together. The Rock has had a great career, from Scorpion King all the way to being the king. And then there's Dave Bautista. He's done a lot of quality movies, and Dune is one of them. Dave Bautista we're talking about. He was also recently in The Last Showgirl, which was nominated for some awards, and he did an excellent job. Very sensitive man in that. I really enjoyed that performance by Dave Bautista. The man's got range. Guardians of the Galaxy, come on. Now, who of the following is not a Skarsgård? Are we talking about Alexander, Bill, or Carl? Yes, Stellan Skarsgård, who played Baron Harkonnen, is a very good actor, and he had to put on a lot of prosthetics for this role. And he's also had many sons who are also successful actors in many shows. So, are we talking about his son in True Blood? His son who played Pennywise in It? Well, let's narrow it down. Alexander Skarsgård, real. Bill Skarsgård, real. Carl Skarsgård, not real. And he's got more sons too. Now, Dune prophecy actor Travis Fimmel also starred in which show? I'm talking about this handsome gentleman right there. Was it Waco, Game of Thrones, or Vikings? Now, this man actually went to his audition for this role barefoot and got the role. And it was actually kind of appropriate for the role that he got in Vikings. I'm talking about Vikings. Great show. Highly recommend it. And he also plays with one of the Skarsgård's brothers, the other Skarsgård. All right, and who played Paul Atreides in the original Dune? I'm talking about 1984 David Lynch classic. Was it Greg Kinnear, Kyle MacLachlan, or Nathan Fillion? Pictured right there above, that's my guy. He was also in Twin Peaks, and he was also in Blue Velvet. He worked alongside David Lynch very closely. They were the perfect pair. And I'm talking about my guy, Kyle MacLachlan. There we go. And finally, fear is what, according to Dune? Is it the vibe killer? Is it the time killer? Or is it the mind killer? Now, this was recited by Lady Jessica, also other characters. It's a great thing to live by, but it's a way to get past it. So fear it can certainly kill the vibe. It can certainly kill your time. But we're talking about the mind. Fear is the mind killer. There it is. So you must allow it to pass through you, and then only you will remain. And thank you so much for joining us for this week's episode of The Game Show. We'll see you next time.